YTPC, Uncle Butter coming back at you live and direct from beautiful Adams County, Pennsylvania, home of the Battle of Gettysburg and all things Apple. Coming to you tonight because you know this is my time. So let's call this meeting to order. Tonight I'm going to be smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Rob Roy bowl, and this was actually a gift from the old Billy Goat Ghost Cobb himself. So shout out to Ghost Cobb. If you haven't ever subbed to him or watched any of his videos, do so. Very knowledgeable guy, and I love the man like a brother. So please do him a solid. Well, had a pretty good day today as far as days go. Actually, the last 2 days were good. And I've got a chance the last couple of days to sit around some tables and break bread with some brothers of the Leaf. And I just had a chance to kind of sit down and be with some people that were, you know, very decent individuals. And at one point, in fact, this afternoon, some of my colleagues and I were sitting around a table at a golf course. Actually, they have a nice restaurant. We were having some wings and a couple cocktails, and I kind of looked around the table and I realized the age range. We're all smoking cigars, and I just kind of realized the age range of the people there. Myself, I'm 37. A couple of our friends are in their mid-20s. A few of our friends are in their 40s, and one of our friends is in his 50s, and a gentleman that we know that works at the cigar club that's a friend of ours, he's in his 60s. So I can't think of too many awful things that aren't sports related, let's just say. I mean, like everyone, you know, there's Phillies fans that are, you know, 8 years old, and there's Phillies fans that are 88. There's Steelers fans that are, well, you're born into being a Steeler fan. So there's newborns that are Steelers fans, and then there's, you know, 97-year-olds. So that's a wide range, but it's interesting. And, you know, you can talk about things, you can, you know, converse about those things. But the conversation that happens, my brothers and sisters of the Leaf, I will tell you that smoking, although according to the state of California is very hazardous to your health, and everywhere else for that matter, it does bring something out. Primordial ooze in the centermost part of your brain, like looking at a campfire or whatever, and I just love that. So I did say we're calling this meeting to order, so let me see. I have so many samples and things that I have smoked, and I do like to smoke. It's oftentimes, as I said before, a difficult decision for me to be able to decide actually what to smoke when the time comes. You can see I'm very prepared for the making of my videos here. There's that velvet can from the other day. And if anyone has any tips or tricks about the rehydration of that, I've been watching some videos, and it doesn't seem to be too hard, but leave me some love in the comments, and maybe you can help me out with that. Oh my, Peter Stokkebye's Proper English. If you have not tried this blend, please do, if you're an English fan, which myself, I'm a big fan of Englishes. It's interesting though, you know, just to go back a little bit, we all do crazy stuff. I mean, Ghost Cobb's talking about cow tipping today, you know. I guess being just a couple years younger than him, we never went cow tipping, we went cow paintballing. We figured, hey, there's brown cows, and there's chocolate milk, and there's white cows, and there's whole milk, but there's strawberry milk, but there's no pink cows. So, on occasion, a touch, I do confess. I have shot some paintballs, pink ones specifically, at white cows to make strawberry milk. I kind of figure I'm going to have to atone for that someday, maybe. Hopefully, maybe the big man will just let me slide. Maybe, hopefully. Anyways, I would say that I was, I'm just always pleased when I get to sit and converse and commune and, hang out with brothers and sisters of the leaf. Just get around something at the table and chooch on a pipe or smoke a cigar, or whatever. Man. It's like if Mike Tyson had Latakia on his right cross. It's fantastic. Well, that's not to say I don't like aromatics as well, but Boswell's not too far from here, and they have one. If you like aromatics that really are just almost too sweet, they have one called Christmas Cookie that you should try out. You can order that from the website. And they actually started putting tins together. I have 2 locations now. Boswell's, that is. I was just thinking about it. What a good company Peter Stokely's. I am like the Ghost Cobb. I am a Cornell and Deal fan. But I'm kind of like the old Bremen Piper. I don't know if you guys have seen any of his videos. He is one to try a whole bunch of different things and go to a whole bunch of different places and stuff. I can't say I'm like the Breakfast Club, with the 5 pounds of something. Maybe my palate gets bored. I don't know. There's probably, if I had to be stranded on a desert island, I could probably narrow it down to 2 or 3 that I could really smoke. I'd probably want to get a nice OTC, a nice aromatic, and a nice English. Probably kind of do the whole gambit just so I could have that. But, man, I hope you're all doing well out there. And I hope you all have a group of men and women that you can hang out with outside of the YTPC. At your brick and mortars or in your backyard or whatever. I know some of us, like old Nom de Tube, are out in South Dakota, and I've been to South Dakota, and it's a wonderful place, but let's just put it to you this way, the population density is on the lower side. But beautiful. We're lucky here in South Central Pennsylvania because, Billy Goat and I, we kind of live in an in-between area. We're kind of in the country, but close enough, and, like Walmart and gas stations aren't that far away. It brings some closure to the day that is just wonderful to have. And, it touches on a lot of people's lives. I had a very dear friend of mine. His name was Bob Eller, and Bob Eller's going to be with the Lord, and he was a wonderful man. He was the kind of, in a way, the Dos Equis guy, and he was like a grandfather to me. And I met him at the cigar club while I was working there, and he would just to sit next to some of these guys, to sit next to him was like sitting next to the Encyclopedia Britannica. Have you been there? Have you done this? Well, one time when I was in Marrakesh, or he'd talk about his time in the Navy and in the Merchant Marines. He says, if you go down the specific street, if you go down in the Philippines and there's a specific street where it's like, tattoo parlors and whorehouses and things like that, there's probably a couple of those places that got my, claw marks on the side of it still. And I mean, like, you read stories, you see movies, and you see whatever. You just can't replace those kind of one-on-one interactions. I mean, we laugh, we carry on, we have a good time. It's cool stuff, to be able to get together with your buddies and hang out. I mean, Ghost Gob and I, we get together a lot. And I was saying to him the other day, I said, man, we ought to get to Chicago to that pipe show, and we ought to, you be Piper, here's Uncle Butter, and here's Ghost Cobb. I bet you we'd have a hootenanny of a good time. I really think that would be cool to meet a lot of you guys in person. Just crack me up sometimes. I think it'd be cool. Just sit around. It's kind of like as you breathe the smoke in, and as the stories are kind of exhaled, and you walk into a room full of smoke, you can just kind of imagine that smoke represents all the stories that are being told, and then you walk into an old brick and mortar and you kind of smell it, and it's just like this wealth of history and laughing and, crying and stuff, because, a lot of these brick and mortars and a lot of the groups that have been involved with nonprofits and the Boy Scouts and the Masons and all that, and at church, you go through with people everything, and that's life, that's how it goes, as they say. But I love it, and it's nice to be able to live in a country that we have access to all this really fantastic stuff, and I'm just very proud and very glad to be an American. And I'm very proud of my German heritage, don't get me wrong, and I'm very proud to be a member of the world, but I am, like Lee Greenwood says, proud to be an American, where if nothing else, at least you're free. That sounds kind of corny, doesn't it? Sometimes these late night sessions and meditations bring out the corniness in me, but just stupid things like, maybe not stupid. My neighbors, 3 years ago, they moved in, and every year, they have this huge crab feed. All their family comes from all over the country for one night. Everyone stays at a hotel or at their place. They eat like a bushel of crabs, like a bunch of ravenous dogs. Boom, throw cornhole ball bags, throwing bags, bean bag toss, whatever you guys call it in your neck of the woods. And then you get up, and they're all gone, and the yard's cleaned up, and a neighbor does a big pork shoulder, and have a good time. But yeah, it's cool stuff. Being able to hang out and being able to do that. I think sometimes we get mired down in the equipment and the technicalities of the hobby, which is cool. But I think what I enjoy most about not only the YTPC, but going to brick and mortars and hanging out with my buddies and whatever, just like moments where the Ghost Cobb and I, sit on the back porch, just him and I, no Chip, no Charlie, no wives, no kids, no nothing, just listen to the creek and sit and just kind of be. You just kind of think about two guys sitting next to a campfire, sitting next to a creek, hundreds of years ago, doing this, and we're continuing that tradition. But there's a wealth of knowledge out there, and there's a wealth of opportunity to find people that are wonderful and of a high and ennobling character. Brothers and sisters of belief, unity of belief, if you will. But I guess I won't bore you anymore. It's just the tank's going to hit empty here on deep thoughts and meditations. So like always, wherever you're at in the community today and in the neighborhood, if you find yourself in situations that you know in your heart of hearts that you're not going to be able to help, do yourself and everyone else a favor. Try not to hurt them. Good luck. God bless. See you next time.